So this will be a solo podcast of just me. My name's Dakota, and I hope you enjoy. So today we'll be talking about what the thumbnail you just saw was World War One. All right, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and put on post notifications, and let's get into it. World War One, the war nobody thought would last. Picture this. It's the summer of 1914. Europe is booming, cities are growing, technology is advancing, and most people think they're living in the modern age. Sure, countries are competing with each other, but almost nobody believes their entire continent is about to explode into the deadliest war has ever seen. And yet, that's exactly what happened. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about World War One, the conflict that was supposed to last a few months, but instead dragged on for 4 brutal years, killed millions of people, and completely changed the course of history. So you may be asking yourself, so how did it all start? Well, it basically goes like this. Well, Europe had basically became one giant powder keg. Every major country was building bigger armies, showing off new weapons, and making military alliances. Think of it like group chat, where everyone keeps saying, if someone messes with my friend, they're messing with me. It wasn't exactly a receipt for peace. Then on June 28th, 1914, everything changed. Now, the heir to the throne was visiting when a 19-year-old nationalist named, excuse me if I butcher this name, Gavarlo, Prince shot and killed. Alright, the prince shot and killed him. Now you'd think one assassination wouldn't be enough to start a world war, right? Normally you'd be right. But because all those alliances, countries started declaring war on each other, like a row of dominoes falling. And let me try to say this name too. Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia backed Serbia. Germany backed Austria. France backed Russia. Germany invaded Belgium. To get to France, and Britain declared war because Belgium was supposed to stay neutral. In just a matter of days, Europe was on fire. Here's the crazy part. Millions of soldiers march off believing they'd be home by Christmas. Instead, many never came home at all. The Western Front quickly turned into something no one expected. Trench warfare. Bodies dropping. It was horrible. Imagine digging a ditch in the ground and living there for weeks or even months. Just imagine all the rain, all the mice, rats, rodents, anything you could think of, for weeks, for months. Now imagine it constantly raining, like I said. Everything is mud, rats are everywhere, diseases spread quickly, you barely sleep because artillery shells are exploding day and night. And every once in a while, someone tells you to climb out of the trench and run across an open field while machine guns are waiting on the other side. That open stretch became known as No Man's Land. Now, do y'all know anything about No Man's Land? So before I start talking about No Man's Land, I'm going to pop a photo up from 1914 of No Man's Land, just to show you how gut-wrenching this actually was. Okay, so let me start a little bit. That open stretch became known as No Man's Land. It was one of the most dangerous places on Earth. World War One also introduced weapons the world had never seen before. Machine guns could mow down entire waves of soldiers. Massive artillery shells shook the ground for miles. Poison gas forced soldiers to carry gas masks everywhere they went. For weeks, for months. Anywhere they went, they had a mask on, most of the time. Then came tanks, slow, noisy, and unreliable. But they changed warfare forever. Airplanes were still new, but they quickly went from scouting enemy positions to fighting dogfights in the sky. The technology was modern. The strategy? Not so much. Generals kept ordering massive changes straight into. Okay, sorry, I said changes. I meant generals kept ordering massive charges straight into machine gun fire because that was how wars had been fought for centuries. It was a disaster. One of the bloodiest battles was the Somme in 1916. On the very first day, the British Army suffered around 57,000 casualties. The first day. 57,000 deaths. That is wild for the first day. That's more soldiers lost in a single day than many entire wars. And the battle kept going for months. Another legendary battle was Verdun. The French defeated the city for nearly 10 months under constant attacks. The French rallying cry became, "They shall not pass." Okay? Their cry became, "They shall not pass." And somehow, they didn't. The war wasn't just happening in Europe either. Fighting spread into Africa, the Middle East, and across the oceans. Millions of troops came from colonies around the world, making this one of the first truly global wars. Then came 1917. All right. Germany decided to resume unrestricted submarine warfare, attacking ships without warning. American ships were threatened, and then British intelligence intercepted something called the Zimmermann telegram. Germany had secretly asked Mexico to the war against the United States. Needless to say, they didn't go over really well, or very well. The United States entered the war bringing fresh troops, supplies, and resources that exhausted allies desperately needed. All right. Now, by 1918, Germany was running out of food, money, and soldiers because this war was happening since 1914, and it's already 1918. So they were running out of almost everything. It its people were exhausted. Its armies was retreating. Eventually, Germany agreed to the word. Okay, I'm not good with this word. Never have been. So eventually, Germany agreed to a armistice at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The guns finally fell silent, but peace came with an enormous price. Around 20 million people were dead. 20 million people. Millions more were wounded. Entire towns disappeared. Four massive empires collapsed, and Europe would never be the same. The war officially ended with the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. Germany accepted blame, lost territory, had its military severely limited, and was forced to pay huge reparations. Many historians believe those harsh terms created the anger and instability that helped pave the way for World War II just 20 years later. World War I is sometimes called the Great War, not because it was great, no, not because it was great, but because of the unbelievable scale of destruction. It showed the world what industrial warfare could really look like, and unfortunately, humanity would have to learn that lesson all over again. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast. And if there's another historical event you'd like me to cover, let me know. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back with the next one.